This is Aude from OpenFIF, and what's on my mind today is web resources pages in Aspen. If you've had Aspen for a while, you're probably used to the page I'm showing here. It's a page automatically generated by Aspen using your web resources, and it's listing them by category. So again, when you've created your web resources in Aspen, you probably had a good think about which categories and which audiences to use, knowing that they're obviously shown here on this page for the categories, but they're also used in facets and visible on the side of the page, just like this one here. I've got all the audiences that this web resource belongs to and all the categories. One of the things that have been new and all I'm showing you today, actually, all those developments were introduced in versions 25.03 of Aspen, which was released in March 2025. So one of those things is that you can now do more with your audiences and resource and category, pages. And before, when you clicked on one of those, it just generated a search and it returned in a list of all the web resources that matched this particular audience or category. But now it actually takes you to an actual page, and there is a page for each of your audience and category. Let's have a look at the one on local history. I'm just going to open it in a new tab. There we go. So this is not a search, it's now a page. It's got its own URL, which you can use to easily share. So if you have library members or users interested specifically about local history, you can just send them the link to those specific resources. Let's have a look at another one, this time for an audience. So I'm on a web resource page here, and I'm looking at the audience for entrepreneurs. And this is what I'm seeing now. So the difference is this bit here, and this is one of the bits that's new. So for each of your audiences and categories, you can now add a description, a bit of an explanation that's going to appear at the top of the page before your users can see all the resources. So how do you add that? Let's go into the administration and have a look. So again, I'm already logged in, so I'm just going to look for my web builder module where everything about web resources happens. And I know that my actual web resources are listed in this particular setting. This is where, so Cobra, the one I was just looking at, etc., they're all set up. I don't need to go in there. I need to go to where my audiences and categories are set up. And the one I want to edit is this one here, local history, where I'm going to add a little description to it. So if I'm selecting it from the list here, local history. So before, when I was creating or editing an audience or category, all I had to add was the name. But now I get this description, and you can see it can be as big as I want. And I can also use some formatting options. So actually, I don't need the bullet point here, but maybe I want to make it a subheading for my page. So I'm going to save that. And then now when I refresh my page, I can see my added description there. So you can do that for any or all of your audiences and categories. One of the other new things you can do is, instead of having one page for just one category or one audience, you can create custom pages where you kind of mix and match. So if I wanted a page that specifically for the audience children, so all the web resources that I've created and ticked the audience children, but actually I'm only interested in arts and music category for children. So I can now do that. Again, if I go back to my settings, and in my web builder module, I have a new section called custom web resource pages. And this is where I'm going to create my page. So I've got none at the moment, so I'm just going to click add new. And it's arts and music for children. and I need to give it the URL, just like any other page I'm creating within Aspen. And again, I've got the exact same box for the description, so I can choose to add some explanations here. I'm going to skip that for now. And this is where I'm selecting which resources I want to display on this page. So I want all the ones that are in the audience children, but actually I only want a cross-section of the ones that are both in the audience children and the category arts and music. And then I select my library system. So I'm going to save here. And now if we go to this URL, so let's just paste it here. There we go. So this is, I know you'll have to believe me on this, but I could show you all my resources for arts and music and all my resources for children. It really has taken only the ones that are in both categories. I do have more web resources than that for children, and I do have more web resources than that for arts and music. So this is also a page because it is an Aspen page. You can link to it from one of your menu links. So you can create menu links for that. Again, like I said before, for the individual category or audiences page, you can just give the URL to interested people. And the other thing you can do is make sure it's indexed within the Aspen search as well. And for that, it's actually in another section called Web Resources Settings. So let's go and have a look at that. If you don't have any settings, you can just create one. I've got one already. I've got only, I'm mainly using a library system called main, so that's why I've called mine main settings. If you're in a consortium settings, you might want to have different settings for each of your library systems, and obviously name them accordingly. So I'm just going to scroll past this, but I'll come back to it in a minute, to where it says custom web resources pages to index. So I have now the one I've just created. And if I tick it, then it's going to index it, and it's going to be returned in the search type for library web pages. You can see I'm indexing separately also my resource page for audience entrepreneurs and every single one of my category pages. Right, so what did I skip past at the top? Right at the top, I've got a reminder, useful reminder of what my URL is for my standard Aspen web resources list, so the one organized by category. So just if you are looking for it, this is an easy way to find it again. And then thing that's new is that Aspen can now generate a page where those resources are listed as an A to Z. And just like for the custom resource pages, you can add a bit of an explanation on that page, and you can also choose to index it or not. For this one, I can just copy the URL, but I've actually already added a menu link to it. So let's go and have a look. I'm going to leave this page now. This is what the automatically generated page looks like. So it is listing all my resources, and I can click on a letter or just view all again. So you now have a lot more options about how you want to display your web resources in Aspen and how you want to share them depending on the topic or who might be interested in it.